finally put her costume back on despite hating it. Why is that? Watch this video to find out. I'm in Salad and I saw The Boys Season 4, Episode 7, The Insider. It is directed by Catriona Mackenzie, written by Paul Grelong. And if you haven't seen this episode, I will spoil it for you. We find out at the very end of this episode why Annie puts her suit on, but what happens before that is that Billy Butcher releases Frenchie from prison because he needs Frenchie's help to make this virus, a soup virus, that'll take out all of soup kind. And Frenchie is the craftiest guy that he knows, and also can just make any sort of chemical using basically nothing. So Frenchie is the right guy for the job. However, Frenchie is riddled with guilt. Frenchie goes back with Butcher, and Kumiko is there, and Kumiko is giving him the silent treatment. I mean, she is silent all the time, but like, actually, you know, given a cold, hard turn to his presence, he's like, hi, and she's like angry at him because he never let her see him while he was in prison. I would also be really mad at him for that, so it's very understandable why. They have a whole conversation. Kumiko's like, dude, I just wanted to see you. Frenchie's like, I felt ashamed. And Kumiko, right on the nose with this character observation of Frenchie that I agree with. Frenchie is such a sad sap. He's moping all the time. He's always down in his emotions. He kind of has a negative point of view on life and is just sad all the time. I agree with that analysis. I also like how much character development that Kumiko has gone under. She was able to find out that it was not Compound V that made her do those bad decisions. She made them. And she also explains to Frenchie why she is mute, which I really like, because she was at this camp, really young, probably like when she was 12, and she was tasked to murder her opponent, who is also like, it's a bunch of children, it's a bunch of little girls, probably around the same pre-teen age, and they're tasked to silently, if anyone cries out, they are to be murdered. So she's able to slice and dice up her opponents with no sound, and then whenever she was able to speak again, like given permission by the elders there, she couldn't. And that's why she's silent. And I like Frenchie's take. He's like, well, you didn't have any choice. I like Kumiko's take as well. She's like, well, I did have a choice. It was either I kill those ladies or I die, and I chose to kill those ladies, and that kind of makes me a bad person. What would you do in this situation that Kumiko found herself in when she was young? Would you do what Kumiko did and stay silently killing people for your own life protection, or would you die without, and probably speak like your last words, and then you die? What would you do? Let me know in the comments below. Homelander is like, okay, I think we found the guy who's leaking all the information. It's Webweaver. And they kidnapped the real Webweaver, and Webweaver is kind of gross, really gross. When he gets nervous, he has a bunch of web stuff shooting out of his web hole. It's really gross. He's like, I'm sorry, I feel sick. And Homelander is like, okay, I feel so confident that he is the mole that I'm just going to rip him apart in half right in front of Firecracker. And I like seeing the fear on her face. She's like, oh God, I have to keep stroking his ego or else I'll die. And so it's a necessity for her to be more on his side, because of if she's not, then Homelander will just rip her in half, and he's a lunatic and he's insane. Homelander, Firecracker have a meeting with Sister Sage. Homelander's like, okay, Sister Sage, we're firing you because what happens if you get your head shot again? I'm like, I think she should just get a bulletproof helmet. It would solve a lot of problems. I don't know why she isn't wearing one, honestly. I really don't. Why is she not? Because her power is so dependent on her brain that if she gets a bullet shot through her brain, she regresses to like 70 IQ. essentially. Even though she's like 220, 230, 250 IQ, whatever. She's the smartest person in the world. And so Homelander's like, well, we're firing you. She's like, I thought you promised that you would do everything I said. I said that you couldn't handle me because your ego would get in the way. Sister Sage is right. I also think that this must have been Sister Sage's plan the entire time. Whenever Homelander went to her to recruit her, she was like, okay, I know that at some point your ego is going to get in the way. She's properly warning him, so she has some sort of alibi. Like, yeah, I told him what would happen if you let me on the team, because she has experience with other people who are less smart than her, and she knows how this is going to go. And I feel like she knew this would happen. Like, in even dealing with Homelander, like, you can see that she makes great points that shut Homelander down. And she knew at what levels that they were playing with. She also knew that A-Train was the guy who leaked all the information, and she was giving misinformation to A-Train so she can get the boys. She was playing like at a lot higher level than these guys are. And here we got Homelander and Firecracker go off behind her back to kill Webweaver, and she's like, what, you guys killed Webweaver? And Homelander's like, all right, just go. And she's like, you made an enemy out of me. And I'm like, I would not want her to be against me, because she's smarter than me. You guys are screwed. Good luck. I'm really excited to see what happens in the upcoming seasons. I really wonder if Sister Sage will be on the boys' side. I'm curious. I'm also curious as to why she was helping Vought in the first place. Like, we still don't know her motivation. We still don't know her motivation. She's the smartest person in the world. She can do whatever she wants. Why is she cozying up to Vought? That's my question. Also, it's awesome. Ryan is at a Christmas special, live taping, mind you, and they have like these annoying Muppet guys, like designed after the Seven. And Ryan's like, oh my goodness, I'm so annoyed with these messages to snitch on your family members, see something, say something. Big government's your pal. And I'm like, no, oh God. Ryan's like, I'm sick of this. Ryan's like, your family is all you got. I keep thinking about my mother. Just enjoy your family as you have. And I'm about to tell a dirty little secret. And he's like, Homelander is, and then he like walks away. And I'm like, oh my goodness, he's got some good inside of him. And I like how Billy Butcher's at a bar watching this on TV. He's like, that's why I got confidence in him. And he's just talking to himself. He's talking to Joe, but he's talking to himself. It was pretty crazy. They go down to the guy. He's prepped up this virus. And it's like, it's just going to be for Homelander, okay? All right? Are you sure? All right. And then he stabs it into Kimiko. Very effective. So Frenchie has to saw off her leg. And then she has her leg just like in a cooler. And they're like, okay, we're gonna have to extract the virus from this. Oops. Here's why Annie is wearing her suit. Huey's home. And she's wearing it. She's like, oh, I know you had some sexual fantasies. So let's have sex in the suit. And then they do. But then it's revealed that Starlight is actually chained up. And it was the shapeshifter. It's the shapeshifter who's with Huey right now, having sex with Huey, looking like Starlight, and Starlight is just tied up. And that's like the last frame of the episode. I'm like, oh my goodness, what are they gonna do? What is Starlight gonna do? Oh, she's in captivity again. She was like last season, I think, or the season before. Crazy. Anyway, this episode just really wants me to watch the final episode of this season. I'm so hyped, man. I want to see what Sister Sage does. She is by far my favorite The Boys character. Like, honestly, it's because of how smart she is and how she's able to maneuver everybody around her. Oh yeah, because she did talk to A-Train like a couple episodes ago. He's like, you're not the leak. And he's like, no. But the way that he was presenting himself, you can like feel the vibes of a liar. She's like, you're lying. I'm not going to tell you that you are lying. Instead, I'm going to use you to spread misinformation so I get to catch the boys. I'm like, this is cool. Also, A-Train shows himself a little humanity here when he was saving, when he was like carrying the guy and put him there, right? So a little boy saw him. He was like, man, there's no press, no nothing. But that little boy saw me save that guy, and he sees me as a hero, and that felt better than anything I did for VOT. I'm like, yes, dude, he's like having some humanity, and I like the humanities in these characters, even though they're terrible people. You shouldn't aspire to be them. They're just fascinating. They're fascinating character studies to me. I gotta give this episode, it's a solid 7.7 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one on the platform really likes that. If you want a fast track movie review, you can do that for $20 Reditos at patreon.com/ASEPresents. And if you like to help support the daily grindiness of all them daily movie reviews, go to this link tree, find the way you can help support the daily grind of all them daily movie reviews, and go here. And until next time, I'm in salad sauce. See you later, my sour croutons and bacon bits. What grade does this movie get? This one.